Hiya, hope everyone's okay, hope everyone's staying safe in these tough times. A video, an idea of Neil M7LLA, who has just made a YouTube video, and it's the lockdown ham radio 10 question challenge, or the quarantine ham radio 10 question challenge. So this is an idea of Neil M7LLA. Just pop over to his YouTube channel, have a little look. He started doing radio videos, SOTA videos, he does wild camping. Have a little look, it's worth a look. So what Neil's done is he's put 10 questions and he's run through, he's give his answers, and then the plan is that you nominate 2 people at the end of it, and they do the same 10 questions and they nominate 2 people, and so on and so forth. Which I think, seeing as biggest majority of us now has got some time on his hands, we can't go out making radio videos portable. I think this isn't a bad idea at all. What I'll do, I'll put these 10 questions below the description in this video for you to have a look at. As I say, it's Neil's puppy, so I'm not sure if you have to wait to be nominated or you can see this video, make it yourself for these 10 questions and then nominate 2 people. I'm sure Neil will be absolutely fine with that. Okay? So here are the questions. 10 questions. Question number 1. What rigs do you own? What transceivers do you own? So let's have a look. So in the shack I've got 2 Yaesu FT817ND transceivers. This one for VHF, UHF. This one for HF. This 817 I've got connected to a Diamond V2000 tri-banco linear. It's on the back of the house. So I might be monitoring 145500, the calling frequency. Might be monitoring local repeater while I'm playing on HF on the other radio. Absolutely love the 817ND. Got my first one 2006. Absolutely love it to bits. Fantastic radio. And this Yaesu FT817ND is what I use for HF to a buddy pole antenna that's in my loft. I'm restricted for space for antennas here when I got a small yard at the back, so it works for me. Just go up into the loft, got a set of step ladders, and just make the antenna resonant for whatever band I choose to play on. Nothing on 17 metres of course, but as usual the FT8 beacon is proud. This 817's got the BHI instrumentation, the DSP, the noise cancelling unit in, which I should make a video of that by itself, to be fair. Probably one of the best add-ons for the FT817, without a doubt. Both 817NDs connected to my logging program, which is Log4OM version 2, free logging program that does everything I need plus more. I also own 2 handheld transceivers. This one, Yaesu VX7R, which does 6 metres, 2 metres and 70 centimetres. This one on the left, Yaesu FT25, just a 2 metre FM transceiver. Question number 2. What's your favourite band? Easy question. Genesis. Tony Banks, Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford. No, kidding, just kidding. What's your favourite band? If you had to pick one band, that is difficult. That's a good question. I like HF. I've had quite a lot of success on 50 megs on 6 metres, but if I had to choose just one band, I would say 2 metres. You've got FM, you've got SSB, which biggest part of my SOTA activations, my He-Man activations are 2 metre FM. I made quite a lot of friends there. They recognise the call sign, they know my name, we have a bit of a chat. I had a spell on 2 metre single sideband. I had a 5-element Yagi when I had my Icom 7400, and I think I stood at about 13 DXCCs, QSL cards there. I don't know if you can see them, there's some in there. So it would be 2 metres, I think. What I found about 2-metre SSB as well, if there were a rare station on, or something that somebody wanted to work, and it says the 2E0 station only, everyone would stand by and he'd work his 2E0 and then we'd all jump in again. You get on HF, the 2E0 only, every man on his dog calls. I found it more friendly. It's great. Okay, so favourite band would be 2 metres. What rig would you like to own? I would say, for the shack, the Elecraft K3S, of course a 10 watt version, being a QRP operator, the Elecraft K3S, the KX3 for portable. I'd like one of those. Watch this space. Okay. Question number 4. Do you think amateur radio is a dying hobby? I'm not sure about dying. I think there'll always be the hardcore of people knocking about. I think it's changing. It's evolving. And for me, not necessarily for the better. I spoke about this with somebody and I got labelled a purist because I like simplex, I like HF, SSB, etc. They seem to be pushing a lot now with these digital modes, which if that's what you like, no bother. Your DMR, your D-Star, your Fusion, right? They're pushing for those. A lot of radio clubs, a lot of people you speak to, okay, they're sort of forgetting the old stuff. It's evolving. It's each to their own, but for me, wireless, that's what it's called. Another name for radio is wireless. What's the point of going through an internet cable and popping out somewhere? Yeah, that's not for me, but that's just my opinion, okay? So I think it's changing, not necessarily for the better. Question number 5. Kenwood, Icom or Yaesu? I've owned a Kenwood TS2000, great radio. I've owned an Icom 7400, which are another great radio. But my favourite radio is, as you've seen, the Yaesu FT817. I got my first one in 2006. Love it, absolutely love it. I've owned them ever since. Really like it. So for me, it'd be Yaesu. You've seen the Yaesu handhelds as well, so it'd be Yaesu for me. Question number 5. Operating from home, portable or mobile? Out of those 3, portable operating is my favourite. Okay, I like to take myself off into hills, flask of tea, sandwiches, and operate away from home. Obviously, doing summits on the air, a lot higher location than where I am now. You hear more things. HF, you have a lot less noise operating portable than you have from home. Not a fan of mobile, to be honest. I don't like the flutter on the signals. I have operated mobile, but not for me. I've no problem with driving onto high ground if the weather's nasty, with the 817 in the car and a mag mount antenna on top, and working things like that. But I'm not over keen on the mobile thing. I will work mobile stations, as you should. You know, if you're working a bit of a pile up, perhaps you're on a sort of summit and this station's calling and you're in a mobile, it's ideal. You should take them first because they soon could disappear out of range. I don't mind operating from home, but portable would be my favourite out of those 3. Question number 7. Digital or analog? Easy. Analog. Every time. I've tried Fusion, it's not for me. I can understand why it's popular, but again, I was labelled a purist because of what I like, but we all like different things. For me, you can't beat the sound of a decent SSB signal. Decent SSB audio, sorry. You can't beat the sound of a good quality SSB audio signal, right? So it'd be analog for me. Question number 8. Can you do CW? Let's have a look. Okay, so I can do slow CW, what they call QRS CW. I'm looking forward to trying some sort of activations on HF, hopefully, when we get out using CW this year. I do it nice and slowly. And what you find is most CW ops, the lay you call in, they'll come down to your speed anyway. You know, if I'm on a sort of summit and they come at me at 100 miles an hour, they won't go in the logbook. Simple. It's their loss, okay? I think 99% of people will slow down. Okay, so yeah, can do a bit of CW. Question number 9. What do you think of the license stages? They are what they are for me. I hear quite a few arguments that people that get the foundation, they're giving too much, they're giving all the bands. There you go, you can have all the lot. Right, okay, I've heard people calling that perhaps they should get 2 meters and 70 centimeters and maybe 15 meters as a foundation license holder, then progress to the intermediate and get a few more bands and everything when you get to the full. Right, okay. Yeah, I can understand that. But on the other hand, I know people that have no interest in progressing. Oh, I also heard a comment which were interesting. Your foundation license should last for 2 years. If you've not progressed by then, take it off you. I don't like that at all. That's pants. Why should a gun be held to your head to progress? Okay. There's a chap not far from me, bless him. Fred, M3CTW, lives at Holmfirth, 99 years old. Right, bright as a pin. All he wants to do is come on the radio on 2 meters FM and have a chat to his mates. He's happy doing that. That's what he wants to do. So why should someone like that be made to progress? And there's others like him as well. But I can understand the calls. I got to go to drive 20 miles and do RE, and I got to do this and do that. The people that are coming into the hobby now, they don't choose how they come into it. This is how it is. This is what's in front of them, and this is what you do. At the moment with lockdown here in the UK, you can do the foundation license online. You don't have to do the practical assessments. Okay, you can do an online course and then sit the exam at home on a webcam, which I don't think that's a bad idea. However, I spoke to a couple of M7 foundation license holders recently that were struggling. What do I need? Do I need to buy a power supply? Do I need to buy this? Do I have to buy that? So I think what a decent idea to add on to this foundation online license would be if there were people prepared to come forward and nominate themselves as someone that a new licensee can approach, because you know they're struggling. They aren't a clue, a lot of them that are just coming into this hobby. Okay, maybe via email, you know, I'm newly licensed, whatever. I was talking to a lad just last night. He didn't know what radio to buy. He really wasn't sure, and I were like that, to be fair, when I came into this hobby. But I was a member of a club, Otley Amateur Radio Society, and the various transceivers there, and I got to play with a few before I made my decision. Okay, so yeah, there's good and bad in all levels of license holder as well. Okay, there's some really good foundation license operators out there, and there's some really bad full license holders. Okay, and vice versa. It's not the call sign behind the person, it's the person behind the call sign. Okay, I'll say that. So I'm pretty good at sitting on this fence, aren't I? Backside's hurting sitting on this fence. Okay. Question 10. What would you change about amateur radio? That's another tough one. I'm reasonably happy with how it is, to be fair. Similar to what Neil M7LLA said, perhaps if we paid a yearly licence fee to help protect our bands and the hobby, perhaps we'd have a little bit more of a voice if we paid a fee. I'd happily pay a fee, you know, providing it's not something stupid and extortionate. We used to pay £15 a year when I first became licensed. But yeah, maybe reasonably happy. You make best of it, don't you? It is what it is, basically. So that's the 10 questions. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm now going to nominate 2 people who both have YouTube channels that are worth a look. Okay, and hopefully they'll run through these questions and they'll give their views. Okay, it's good as this will be locked down, I think. My nominations are Tim, Golf 5 Tango Mike, very good YouTube channel, worth a look. And Carl, 2 Echo 0 Echo Zulu Tango, another good YouTube channel. Quite big hitters, these chaps on YouTube, so their channels are worth a look. Okay, so they're the chaps that I'm going to nominate. Maybe they'll do this, maybe they won't. Okay, but I've nominated them anyway. So thanks for watching. Stay safe. 73 Chris, M0RSF.